When the first Uncharted released, it did pretty well. In the first week, it only sold around 30,000 units, but by the 10th week of sale, it reached around 1 million and compelled Naughty Dog to make a sequel.
Man, Naughty Dog thought Uncharted 1 was a success? Look at every other game. Hell, look at 2. Jesus Christ, man.
Man, in just the first week, Uncharted 2 sold 876,000 plus units, dude. I mean, shit. That's like what? A 30% increase over the Uncharted 1's first week? Shit, man. Of course, there are people that have returned from the first Uncharted 2 create Uncharted 2, among Thieves. The creator, of course, of Uncharted, Amy Hennig, is back in the director's seat. But she isn't alone this time. In comes Bruce Straley. He did work in the first game as a co-artist, but I guess he did so well that he got appointed as game director alongside Amy. A pretty good move, as this is one of his notable works. Well, the Uncharted series in general, as well as The Last of Us. Or should I say, the first Last of Us. Also, Bruce is a Florida native, specifically from Tampa. I'm a Floridian as well, so yeah. Florida pride, hell yeah. Though I'm from St. Lucie, so whatever. The writers of the first game also came back. Amy Hennig, Josh Scher, and, of course, Neil Druckmann. Talking about Druckmann, both him and Richard Lamarchand also came back as designers for Uncharted 2. The only designer that didn't come back was Hirokazu Yasuhara, his most notable works being the Sonic games on Sega Genesis, also working as game designer in Jax 2 and 3. Greg Edmonson also returns as a composer for this game. Also, Greg's only work in video games is the Uncharted trilogy, so that's an interesting fact I didn't know of. The last of the major employees that carried over from the first game are the programmers. Travis McIntosh, Dan Lebgold, and Paul Christian. The only department that I know of that received major changes is the artist department. Eera Pengelinen as well as Rob Ruppel are now in the artist seats, having replaced Bob Rafey and Bruce Straley. That should be all, other than the fact that everyone here works for Naughty Dog and Sony's gonna be the publishers of this game.
The devs aren't the only ones that returned. We have some returning voice actors as well. Mainly the pro tags, Nathan Drake, Elena Fisher, and Sullivan. Of course, the antagonist of the first game died, so they ain't returning.
As for the newcomers, we have Flynn, who is voiced by Steve Valentine. There's Chloe Fraser, a future recurring protagonist that is voiced by Claudia Black. The previous two actually voiced in the Dragon Age games, Steve with Alistair and Claudia with Morgan. Back to the new voice actors, we have the main antagonist, which for now we shall call ZL, being voiced by Graham McTavish. There's also two minor characters that help Drake along his way in the Himalayas, but I won't really say their names. I'm gonna give them nicknames. The first one I'll just call him Tenny, voiced by Pema Donhup. Yeah, I haven't heard of this guy, but apparently he's a director, being born in Tibet and currently residing in LA. At least so far. The last of the minor characters is Carl. Yes, basically my namesake. He's played by, I'm probably gonna butcher this, but Rene Auberjonois. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He also shares my birthday, which is interesting, June 1st. That's pretty rad, actually. He has to be one of the more decorated people to be in Uncharted. I mean, he's been in so many works. Deep Space Nine as Odo. He was Chef Louis in Little Mermaid. There's a lot more works that I can't really think off the top of my head. I don't have the Wikipedia in front of me, but man, he even has some connections to Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte, dude.
Uncharted 2 Among Thieves released on 2009 on the PS3, but I don't have a PS3. I do have it on the Nathan Drake Collection, which is a PS4 remaster of all three games. Yeah, more than likely if you have played this, or any of the Uncharted games before, 2 is more than likely going to be your favorite. For me, I'm pretty sure I said it in the first video, but I like Uncharted 3 over the R2, so yeah, I just think it gets better, even though I know Uncharted 3 staff was basically not really cut in half. It's a bit limited. It could have been better, but ayo, that's all in the past. I'll just get into this.
So here we are back in the Nathan Drake collection menu. Gotta switch over from Uncharted 1 to Uncharted 2. And then I gotta say, like the Spanish coin in Uncharted 1 for the loading screen, we got the dagger, the Punjab or whatever it's called. And here it is. It is much more cooler, at least to me. It's a static environment. Well, not really static, but it's a more dynamic, I guess, environment. You can see the birds in the background, but ayo, the menu setup is basically the same like in Uncharted 1. Same 2 options if you haven't played before. Same difficulties too. Brutal being, of course, blacked out until you complete it. And yeah, I went for normal, so Godspeed. For the quote, we're going with a Marco Polo quote. I did not tell half of what I saw, for I knew I would not be believed. Marco Polo on his deathbed, 1324.
I'll just say, I think all the quotes in the Uncharted games are pretty much bangers, but this one, I can pretty much get. I mean, Marco Polo, I'm pretty sure he's like, what, the first person to sail around the globe? Or at least complete a trip or something to India. I don't remember, but at least off the top of my head. But yeah, he saw a lot of stuff. I know he spent basically, I think, a third of his life in Asia at least. So yeah, nice quotes. It does ramping up the mystery. I mean, what did he see? I'm not gonna lie, it's probably just some Chinese traditions or traditions of China, Mongolia, wherever else he went. But yeah, in the context of this game, with the treasure hunting, the mystery of said treasure or whatever else, and the adventure, it hypes me up, I'll tell you that. Not my best quote, but I can see why it is people's favorite.
After that epic quote, we actually see a broken train, as well as Drake, who doesn't seem all too good. I mean, he's bleeding from the belly, dude. Shit. Basically, this is in the media rest perspective, basically in the middle of things. So yeah, pretty interesting. However, Drake discovers that not only is the train broken, but we're hanging off a ledge. I mean, look, shit's falling down, man. We're right into a set piece already. Literally the first chapter. Though, like I said, since this is in the middle of things, I'm pretty sure this is chapter 12 if I'm correct, but ayo, it's still pretty cool. I mean, look at this. Hanging off the ledge. Very much a perilous position to be in. And then now we start chapter 1, A Rock and a Hard Place.
So, of course, we first learn the controls. The controls are the same as in Uncharted 1. Climbing, shooting, platforming. So, if you remember all of that, it's going to be the same. It's just going to be a bit more refined. I didn't really have that much trouble with it, as opposed to Uncharted 1, but there were still some times where it was a bit finicky, but overall, it's fine.
So yes, once you climb out of that situation and leave the train car for the cliff, you get to a flashback on why he's on this journey. Yeah, sometime long ago, I guess a few months ago, he got approached by the 2 new characters, Flynn and Chloe Fraser. Basically, they have to go to Istanbul, go to a museum, break in basically, and steal a Mongolian oil lamp. Why? They don't know it yet, but it will eventually lead to the greater treasure of this game. Waking up once again, we eventually traverse through the wreckage and actually learn the controls of shooting.
Karma's a bitch.
You can actually get your first treasure here, your first out of 100, or if you want to include the strange relic, 1 out of 101. Yes, as soon as you wake up from your flashback, you can take control of Nathan Drake, take a ride, and then you should get, I think, what's called the Wrathful Deity. It's like a statuette thing. Yeah, 40 more treasures excluding the strange relic compared to the first game. I do like the fact that there's more, though they're more hidden, let's just say. I only found like, what, I think 20 as opposed to 40, or not 40, 30 in the first game. Though to be fair, I wasn't really going out of my way to find them. If I saw a sparkle, I just got to it. There's also the fact that there are new hiding spots. You can swing to them now, They're like in perilous ledges that you can swing to, or even in places that you can shoot down from, but they're basically going to be on the floor, so you're not going to encounter those types of treasures if you do even see them a lot. After all that and shooting through some bad boys, Drake is climbing through a train passage car, but that passage car is rocked by an explosion, and of course Drake is knocked around and he stays still, almost as he's dead. But we actually go into another flashback. Chloe get a little snuggy with Nathan, offering him a proposal. Once they get the treasure, find the ships, whatever, they split the rewards 3 ways, and then both of them basically fuck off, leave Flynn floundering or whatever. And then Drake wakes up, thankfully, goes a bit further out of the train wreckage, and he finds that dagger. That's really important to the story. And then we go back in time for real, starting off with the Turkish heist. Chapter 2. The earliest event for this game, we're basically playing with Flynn. Chloe's also with us, but she's tasked to take out the lights and be our getaway driver. And now we can take control of Drake, who is not injured. And he feels actually pretty good. A bit better than Uncharted 1, a bit smoother, I guess you can say. It's not groundbreaking or anything, but hey, I felt like he took turns better. I know it's a weird thing to say. It just feels a bit smoother is all I'm trying to say. Also looking around, it's not all that different. It's fine. The camera's still fine. What's new and a bit different is the stealth. Now there was some stealth in the first game, mainly for the fact that you just hide behind walls or obstacles. But here, you can either take out the enemies purely through stealth or just a mix. Going in guns blazing is an option too. I don't blame you. Now I've been doing stealth at first, and then once I get caught, shoot up the place. But yeah, I do like the option of being either a silent killer or a loud killer. I'm not gonna lie, I just don't have the patience to sneak around and stealthily kill all the enemies in a certain area, so I haven't really done pure stealth, mainly just a mix of both. However, for the instant bowl level, you have to be purely stealthy. If you get caught, that's it. You have to restart from the last checkpoint. And it's a forced stealth section, of course, so yeah, that kind of sucks. Especially in this one part of the map where there's a big fountain and you have to go to a ledge to take out a guy. I don't know why, but I've always found that section finicky. Like, whether or not I took care of that guy stealthily by the ledge, whether throwing him over or, I don't know, beating his ass. Hopefully during all of that, you didn't make that much noise. And even then, you might get some noise, you just stay still and then you get caught, or make a lot more noise than before, and then don't get caught. So, it just seems like it's a luck of a draw thing. I don't know, it just didn't seem too consistent when I was replaying this particular section. However, everything else about this level was fine in my opinion. Traversing the level, even shooting, you get tranquilizer guns. You do have to be relatively close to your target, but if you aim true, you're bound to hit the target. It might be a bit too early to rate the weapons, as the only weapons so far are your fist and the tranq gun, but aiming with that gun was pretty nice. It didn't feel as low as Uncharted 1, but maybe it's just me. And the fire rate is not the best for the tranq, but I'll just save my opinions on the weapons for now. After all that sneaking, after using that goddamn tranq gun and going to higher ground, we eventually go to the area where the Mongolian lamp is stored. Some type of tower. We wait for the lights to cut off. Chloe finally shuts it off, and then Nate, Flynn enter the tower, rappel down, finds the oil lamp, gets it out without tripping the acoustic alarm, breaks said lamp, and finds 2 things, some blue rock things, and a scroll with nothing on it. Well, shit. All that effort, and for this shit? What a shame. However, Nathan, in his infinite wisdom, has a brainwave.
Wait a minute.
After picking up one of the blue stones, he takes a quick whiff at it and remembers part of the quote, "The light of the great Khan." Flynn's lighter lights up the blue stone, casting a great blue light, and then puts over that paper that he found, and it actually reveals a map of some kind, with text indicating that Marco Polo crashed there, along with leaving some cargo, and potentially even spotting Shangri-La, or, as this game mainly called it, Shambhala on his quest. There's also mention of the Curse of the Chintamani. Very cool. That's what the both of them wanted, so they decide to go back up, but it's only Flynn that goes back up. And we must know, Flynn is British, therefore he must be evil, and he fucks over Drake, leaving him behind, shooting a case or whatever so the alarms can go off. Nate urges Flynn to stop digging around, but Flynn ain't playing. he wants Drake to stay there and suffer. So he keeps his gun on him, waits for the guards to arrive, and then that's when Flynn truly takes off, leaving Drake for, well, either dead or to be taken to jail. But Drake has other plans. You see, the guards are aiming at you with lasered weapons. And if you remember from Uncharted 1, pressing circle will basically make those enemies unfocus, so you can buy yourself more time to either get away, get behind cover, or just continue rolling to disorient your attackers. Anyways, Drake goes down, goes through a sewer, escapes, but eventually is caught by Turkish authorities. Fast forward 3 months later, Drake is bailed out by Sully, and 𝐂𝐿e appears too, but Drake of course is not happy, thinking she did this. So Sully intervenes, telling Drake that in Borneo, ships have been found connected to Marco Polo's fleet. However, they have yet to find any signs of the 𝐂𝐇𝐏𝐄𝐒 stone being there, so it's probably not there. Sully also tells us the name of the client that Flynn's working for, that being Lazarevic, a Serbian warlord that for some reason is really dead set on trying to find 𝐂𝐇𝐏𝐄𝐒 stone. Anyways, Drake's out of prison finally, thank God, and the three of them go over Marco Polo's journals, brought to them by 𝐂𝐿e, who is technically still partnered with Flynn and Lazarevic, and the three come up with a plan. Basically, 𝐂𝐿e creates a diversion, that being an explosion, while Nathan Drake gets more files to find where the 𝐂𝐇𝐏𝐄𝐒 stone actually is. To Borneo we go. If you all missed the jungles of Uncharted 1, don't worry, this chapter has got you covered. Of course, jungles of Borneo, we sneak through, there's even more tutorials on how to sneak, fight even, and then eventually we get to part of the camp, or at least the first part of the camp, clear that out. I tried to use stealth, but nah, I couldn't do it. But I had to plant the bombs there in 4 different spots, and then go to the main camp, set up the explosion that draws out Flynn, Lazarevic, and 𝐂𝐿e, and most of the guards there too, though some still remain, and thankfully you can take them out stealthily. I don't know why, but I never did that as a kid, but I did it for this gameplay, and it was very rewarding. No bullshit. So, after going the sneaky route, Drake goes up to the hut, looks at the files in there, comes to the conclusion that the 𝐂𝐇𝐏𝐄𝐒 stone is not in Borneo, but the fact that he has the journals here and that there's actually a map possibly marking the trail that Marco Polo went to in his journey, it's possible that Lazarevic is actually looking for Shangri-La. And not only that, since there's no bodies, the shipwrecked areas, he believes that there might be somewhere else, specifically higher ground, since there was a tsunami that did hit them. But eventually over time, Drake gets overrun as the guards come back. Sully provides cover, we shoot them all, Godspeed, we even took down a tower, and then we do go up to higher ground, that being the volcano in that little map before, or I guess the base of a mountain. Anyways, we go to it with Sully, 𝐂𝐿e also shows up, go down and see a lot of dead bodies, and we even see black teeth on their skeletons, so what even happened? What did they consume? Eventually, we see one of those blue rocks, light it up, follow a blood path that leads to some collapsed area, move the rocks that blocking our path, and then see a skeleton that's holding a box. Inside, there's papyrus, but more importantly, there's the dagger or the punjab, however Drake calls it. And it's possible that Marco was writing about this as the important cargo. So, with that info, two of them fuck off. Well, 𝐂𝐿e fucks up first, but as soon as Nate and Drake get out, he's confronted by 𝐂𝐿e with Flynn and some guards. But this is just a planned thing. After some distance from Flynn, 𝐂𝐿e beats up one of the guards. I think she gets hurt, and Nathan, Sully escape them. Bit of an action sequence goes on, and then falls off a cliff into the water. And now we're on to main location that this game takes place in, the Himalayas, specifically Nepal, I'm guessing.
Overall, I do like this game. I do like this game. I know I specifically only told the story of chapters 1 and 2, or 1, 2, 3, but I will say I do like it. I really do like the story overall. The controls are a bit more smoother. The camera, like I said, it's still a camera, but it's not as sluggish as in Uncharted 1. The shooting felt better, aiming felt a bit faster, not too fast, not like I'm on a PC or anything, but yeah, it did felt a bit better to come away. Moving around was nice too. I didn't have to stick around with the camera to actually go to where I want to go, you know? Dialogue I felt like was bit better, at least in terms of throwing in some jokes here and there. It's not like Marvel movies where every other minute there's like serious dialogue and then jokes. I know people don't like that. I'm kind of mixed on it, and yeah, it's a good mix. Or should I say it's mostly serious, but there's some good jokes in there, good jabs, good banter. The characters though, like Flynn and Lazarevich, good antagonists, I will say. And the locations, I just love them. Shambhala, God, if you do want to see the spoilers, I'll show it later, but it's beautiful. Nepal too, even the first area in Turkey, Istanbul. Borneo, it's a jungle, it got a bit samey, it just reminds me of the island in the first game, but it's still nice.
Other things I do like, the characters. Chloe, pretty nice, good femme fatale. Not like Elena, who's hard-headed, rushes head in. She's a bit more cautious, but she is a bit more seductive. Like, in the second flashback in the beginning of the game, Chloe went up to Drake, made a deal with him, and they smashed up, man. Sex, yes! They did that. I'm just gonna sidestep Flynn because I really don't care about that man. He serves as side antagonist fine. It's just, it's a bit one-dimensional, kind of like Navarro or Roman in the first game, but dare I say it, Navarro was a bit more believably evil, at least to me. Yes, he did work with Roman to get El Dorado, but in the end, he tricked Roman as well. Made him open the coffin, thus turning Roman into a descendant, killing him, and then taking El Dorado for himself for, of course, he got pulled down with it to the ocean, or at least in a bay. Here, from what I know, Flynn is just helping out Lazarevich. I don't think he has any motive, at least from what I've heard in any of the cutscenes. Literally no backstabbing plan, no plan to get the treasure before giving it to Lazarevich. Just intercepting Drake and basically being equal to him to getting to Shambhala or getting the Chintamani stone. Though, honestly, a good counterpoint is the fact that Lazarevich is a crazy ass dude, bro. He's a Serb, okay? Look at his face. Look at his body. I'm pretty sure you can even see the scars on his arm, but it's mostly in his face you can see said scars. He is a proven flesh-riddled Terminator, essentially. God is with him, apparently, I guess. He can't die until the end, but whatever. He just looks so badass and intimidating. It also is nice to see recurring characters back. Sully, he's not as prevalent here as in the first game, but it's still cool to see him in Panama rescuing us and teaming up with him in Burma. And then we see him in the last cutscene of the game, so it sucks that he's not here more, but hey yo, it's fine. And Lena's back too, this time as a reporter, and she has a cameraman with her, that being Ben. He doesn't survive past 2 chapters. Anyways, she's there to report on the Civil War as well as Lazarevich. I guess to keep on talking about characters, let's talk about the enemies, that being mainly Lazarevich's mercenaries. Now there's the regular people that's shooting with pistols, machine guns, there's the snipers. I didn't notice that the ones that use pistols mainly wear light gray and basically have no helmets and not much armor. There's also shotgunners that are a little bit more armored, and then there's these big ass boys with some fucking Gatling guns. They're the most hardest to defeat for human enemies. Now, of course, there are supernatural enemies, that being the Guardians. There's also Yetis that you can fight, but they're basically Guardians in disguise, acting as deterrents to anyone that invades their territory. It's pretty cool. And since we're talking about enemies, let's move on to the weapons. Hell yeah. There are a fair amount of weapons that do return, that being the Beretta 92FS, Smith & Wesson 629 Classic, the Desert Eagle, MP40, AK-47s, M4s, Mossberg Mavericks 88s, Spaz 12s, Uzis even the fucking hybrid Dragunov. But don't worry, there's a fair amount of new weapons as well, like the 45 Defender, or basically a Colt Defender. We can finally shoot the Luger PO8, the pistol that the Nazis used back in World War II. I've always wanted those, but damn, they're so expensive. There's also the Pistole, apparently it's a fictional weapon made up for this game. And then we got the FN FAL, the minigun that's kind of based off of the M134. It's the gun that those big armored guys carry around. Even the grenade launcher for this game is different. The Milcor MGL Mark I. But so far, my favorite weapon is the RPG-7. Yes, it's actually here, not in the first game. It appears first here. Yeah, I do like the selection of weapons here. It's a shame that the macro's not here, but can't really have that much pistols, can you? I really do like playing with the fall. It fires in bursts, but I feel like it has the most stopping power. That's what it felt like, at least when I was playing. And of course the RPG. You might only carry 3 shots, but you can see everyone go boom, boom, absolute kaboom. Damn. Just gotta watch out though. Don't kill yourself while you're firing. It's just so fun to use, and you don't really see it on the ground or on the wall all too often, so whenever you see it, gotta take the opportunity to get over there, kill some RPG guy, and use it for yourself. It's worth it, no matter how many targets you actually take out.
Alright, so we talked about the guns, the variety of them, but there's also other things that complement those guns, that being the enemy interaction, the set pieces, and the music. I'm gonna go through these somewhat quick because, yeah, it's getting a bit long again. It's almost 30 minutes, but I don't think it'll be too bad. So, hey, the enemies and where they spawn from, goddamn. I do like that it's a bit more of a challenge to at least take them out.
I mean, they come from everywhere. Not like in Uncharted 1 that, well, it did come from many sides, but I feel like there's like different levels that you come across. Like you're in the first floor and then there's other floors that the enemies can come from. They can come from there too. I mean, Uncharted 1 was kind of like that, especially starting from the island and of course near the end of the game. But I feel like in Uncharted 2 they capitalized that from the onset, with the exception of the Istanbul level. I found it more challenging, but I also found it more fun overcoming said challenges. I mean, where do I go? Which one should I shoot first? How far can I go with stealth before I get caught and I have to go guns blazing? Those are the questions I had to ask before I took action and probably died. And I did it all over, hopefully winning. There's also the set pieces, man. Much more better than the first game. I think the only one I can truly remember is the Jeep segment and running away from the descendants the first time into that Nazi bunker. I guess now that I'm thinking about it, turning on the power in the Nazi bunker, that one was pretty nice. Other than that, I don't really remember anything else, but here, I mean, you start off with stuck in the train off a cliff. And then once you enter Nepal, you go from a cutscene just chilling, trying to meet up with 𝐂𝐿e, to being chased by the army, or the mercenaries I should say, in an army truck, or personnel truck, whatever you want to call it. Just a bit later, you get to fight some enemies and avoid fire from a helicopter in a crumbling building. I mean, shit, it's so grandiose, it's awesome. Some people think it's stupid, but god, it's awesome. There's a lot more examples, but these set pieces, they're essentially like the epitome, the high points of the adventure. And what's really helping that is the soundtrack of the game. Greg did pretty damn good. He did, of course, work in the first game, but it's as if, at least in my opinion, in the first game, it was a bit muted. Whether it blended to the background in my brain, I just didn't hear it through the gunfire, and I didn't really hear it all that much in the dialogue or even in the dead air, the times where I was exploring and where to go or where to find treasures. But here, I can hear it pretty well. It is so mystical, at least when there is something so said mystical like the Chintamani stone, or something so cool or grandiose. The temple in Nepal, going to the Gate of Shambhala and stuff. The music there, pretty well. And it gets pretty tense too. Of course, with the fighting, the multiple waves of enemies, even seeing the guardians. It's like, damn dude, it fits. It fits, and I hear it, thankfully, and I like it.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure my only criticism, or at least legitimate criticism that I can honestly say, is the fact that the camera when climbing can still be a bit weird sometimes. It's not like in Uncharted 1 where it wasn't bad there still, but there were like, I don't know, 3-4 times where the camera got a bit weird and it kind of messed with my climbing abilities. In Uncharted 2, I'd say only in the ice areas in Nepal, and I don't think it was Shambhala. Somewhere in Nepal, or at least the metro area where the Civil War is. I'd like to say that the camera failed me there too. So yeah, it's still a bit weird. It's a bit better, but still a bit weird.
I think my only other main piece of criticism would be the fact that in the snow level, after you get out of the wreckage, there's a part where you can sneak and kill some mercenaries, and then there's a ledge that you can climb on. But if you don't take out all the enemies, even with a prompt that tells you that, oh look, there's some enemies, if you don't take care of them and you just climb up to the ledge, you just get immediately shot up. I mean, seriously? They just climbed over something. I don't think they'll get to my ass quickly. Just sucks that I can't really, metagame it or leave an area too quickly. It's like, I'm pretty sure I have the time, man. That part really irritated me, and you have to do everything all over again.
When it comes down to it, the only other thing which is pretty minor is the fact that I felt like I died a little too easily when I respawn into a scenario. Like, let's say I'm fighting some enemies and then I die, and then I respawn in that same fight. I felt like I just got off really easily. Maybe it's because every time I respawned, the enemies sometimes do come out in different places or placed differently, especially if you're doing a stealth or trying to take out enemies in an area in a stealthy way. They might not be in the same position you found them in natural gameplay flow as opposed to respawning in. So it could be that, or I'm just rushing into things and it's just a skill issue, so who knows. Anyways, that's really it. Yeah, story spoilers. Let's go into story spoilers. Skip here if you want to skip that, and I don't know, listen to some final thoughts near the end and what I'm up to next. Go skipping, I'm going.
Alright, so Drake arrives in Nepal, and after escaping that crazy-ass sequence in the beginning, he wants to meet up with 𝐂𝐿e, see how they can both find the trail of Marco Polo, navigate through the streets of Nepal that's enduring a civil war. Of course, Lazarevich's mercenaries versus some rebels, Nepalian rebels. Drake and 𝐂𝐿e do also see some hints of what to look out for, like some type of logo that's in Marco Polo's journal. They go to higher ground, go to temple, meet Iryna and Ben, do multiple puzzles actually. Eventually use the Punjab or the dagger, whatever it's called, get a nebulous map, but it's basically the Himalayas. And then escape. We got trapped by Lazarevich and Flynn as 𝐂𝐿e betrays us yet again. So 𝐂𝐿e's no longer a partner, it's Iryna. We get back together, fight, go to a train yard, and through that train yard, that's how we get on a train that goes to the Himalayas, fight more enemies, actually fight Lazarevich's second right-hand man, whatever you call him. He doesn't have a name. I'm guessing he's a Serb. He's a strong man. We get confronted by 𝐂𝐿e and Flynn. Flynn injures us, but Drake blown out of the rails. The whole climbing scene happens again. After climbing out of the wreckage, we have to go through a snowstorm, actually kill some enemies and kill them, not actually kill some. Go away from the scene with no one's looking around or no one's near you. You have to actually kill them all. And then we got the Punjab. Drake gets it, passes out, and then we wake up in a Tibetan village, a very quaint Tibetan village, and we meet one of my favorite characters of this game, Tenzin. He's the one that found you, brought you to his home, nursed you back to health, and yeah. He brings you to a certain place. For some reason, Elena's there. I don't know. I don't remember how, but she's there. She also knows Tibetan, apparently. At least somewhat.
Yeah. 𝐂𝐿𝐄
There's also another character, Carl Schaefer, shares my name, pretty cool. Apparently he has some knowledge to the Shambhala shit, so we go up to the mountains, go through some ice shit, look at some dead people, fight some guardians, and that are dressed as Yetis, escape. I find out the village is being overrun by Lazarevich, because of course. And then we also find out that Carl's been kidnapped. We also saved Tenzin Shah, so very cool. That's after we cleared the village. So on to the monastery near the gates of Shambhala. But before we can even get to Shambhala, we have to fucking go here, there, everywhere, up, down, left, right. Holy shit. Of course, we have to fight more enemies. We get to even see some sightings of the Guardians. Don't fight them, just see them zoom past in their Yeti costumes. Even see an absolute massacre in a certain section of the map where there's Lazarevich's men just lying dead. The Guardians got to him. But yeah, before we get to the gates, do a puzzle, big puzzle, basically matching symbols and colors. Pretty cool. It wasn't all that bad. There was, I guess, a somewhat of a challenge. Well, I wouldn't even call it a challenge, it's just a little bit of thinking power. But yeah, after that, find the gates, kill more enemies, get caught up by Lazarevich and Flynn, forced to drop our weapons, go through the gates. Very, very cool. It's majestic. Shambhala is majestic once we open it. And of course you have to do a puzzle, but it's an easier puzzle. Anyways, pretty cool. Another action sequence, and then get to fight the Guardians, not as Yetis, but as Guardians themselves, which they fire with the crossbows. There was also crossbows in the Tibetan village, I forgot to mention that. And they even use some like grenade shit. It's like the blue stuff that we see throughout the game, ghastly, but it's like a sling and then they throw it. They never used it at me, so thank God, but I know they explode, so... Anyways, sometimes it can get a bit annoying. I mean, near the end, before the final boss fight, that shit, it's annoying. It's not even the Guardians that are annoying, it's just the amount of men from Lazarevich's crew that just show up. It's like, goddamn dude, how the fuck are you showing up? Anyways, do all of that, we find the Chintamani stone initially, but it's actually not that. It's just like some representation. The real Chintamani stone is down there, but Flynn catches us, monologues that he's been betrayed by Lazarevich and says whatever shit. Tries to take us out, but only mortally wounds Elena. So Elena's out, Chloe's out, it's just Drake, and we have to take down Lazarevich. And we have a proper boss fight, no QTE bullshit. But goddamn, this shit took so long, cause there are times where Lazarevich would do one simple attack and it just instantly kills Drake. Whether it's throwing a grenade and that shit exploding and just insta-killing Drake, or Lazarevich shooting the blue stones that we've been seeing, the blue resin, explosive resin near Drake, and then it just fucking kills him. But let's back up a little bit. When we confront Lazarevich for our epic showdown, there's this pool of sap. Hasn't hardened yet, but that is basically the mystical thing. The mystical item that Lazarevich is looking for to become immortal or whatever. So Lazarevich takes a little sip. You see his scars heal. He even has a super hearing. I'm guessing his senses are boosted. So he hears, I'm guessing, Nathan's small talk and breathing. Calls him out. Drake tries to shoot him, kill him. I think he even makes the pool explode into flames, killing the other guards, but it doesn't kill Lazarevich. So there you go. It's kind of a hint of how you can kill him, or you should kill him, I should say. So once that's done, get to the actual fight, and then the arena where there is dried pockets of sap all around, and then you shoot that when Lazarevich is near. Lazarevich can also shoot that and kill you instantly, so gotta watch out. That happened to me like once or twice, so yeah. You can also damage him with grenades, but the sap is the way to go. And you have to do 3 waves of this, and after each wave, Lazarevich gets more aggressive, throwing a grenade, and then by the second time, he throws more, so yeah. Also, the stage progressively gets more crumpled. You just lose more ground to maneuver every time you damage him at a certain point, so there's that. Man, Lazarevich also has one hell of a fire rate with his shotty. I guess that's super speed, super strength, whatever. I don't fucking know. But after you do that, after you actually take him down, he doesn't die, but Lazarevich offers Drake the chance to actually have him killed. Drake defuses. Lazarevich laughs, calls Drake spineless, but it doesn't matter. Drake's walking away because the fucking Guardians are pissed. They're pissed at Lazarevich. Basically beat him. They beat him to a pulp. He might be immortal, or at least more immune to damage, but that doesn't mean you can regenerate that fast. You can tear off his arm, beat that shit to a pulp instantly. He's not gonna regrow that. There's that. Anyways, Drake fucks off. We go to another sequence, the last set piece, I guess. Run away from crumbling bridge, go to Elena and Chloe, fight off a guardian as every that we're at is fucking breaking. And if we're successful, which I was in the first take, that is it. You are done controlling Drake in the game. The game's over. So, Drake, Chloe, Elena, escape. Elena's still mortally wounded, but we basically go back to that Tibetan village, I guess. Elena's all healed up. Chloe says her goodbyes, says she had her fun with Drake, and gives advice on Drake to basically fess up his true feelings to Elena. And then we also meet Tenzin. Tenzin's also there, praying, but he doesn't really interact with us, at least all that much. And then there's, of course, Sully. Sully's fucking there, and he's gonna comfort Drake, help Selena, and then finally goes after Chloe's ass, so God bless. We leave off seeing the beautiful Tibetan landscape and Nathan and Elena doing some couple shit, couple dialogue, whatever. It's very wholesome. And yeah, hell yeah, game's over, for real, hell yeah.
there you go. There's Uncharted 2. It holds up pretty well. It's a bit better story-wise, I'd say. Not as short, of course. There's a bit more chapters to the second game, but I will say I enjoyed my time with 2 a little bit more than the first one. It's more action-packed. The story's a bit better. I do like the characters a bit better, even with the returning ones and the new ones like Flynn and Chloe. Not Chloe, Elena. Fuck, yeah, it was Chloe, shit, sorry. I keep on mixing up those two. Anyways, the bad guy, still a bit one-dimensional, but not as flat as Roman or Navarro. I really, really like Lazarevich. The gunplay is pretty cool. The game mechanics is a little bit more refined, just a little bit. They're both, to me, they hold up equally. So, ayo. It's just 2 is a bit better and more remembered. So yeah, if you want to get it, get the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection. Here it is. Of course, I don't know why they didn't do a PS5 version of this, but Sony is just retarded. Well, all game companies are just retarded now, so whatever. Like I said, includes Uncharted 1, 2, 3 Remastered, with different controls, better controls I'd say, and yeah, it's beautiful. So that's Uncharted. Next video, of course I'm gonna do, well, I do want to do Uncharted 3 next, but I want to start talking about some footy stories, you know? I keep on hammering the point home that I want to continue talking about this, the Club World Cup, but I never got around to it. But I think next video I'll release is my journey through this tournament. I fucking miss it. It was such a good summer to me, so yeah. That's it for this video. Hopefully y'all enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in whatever video you watch next, whether it's this channel or my other channel, 𝐂𝐻𝐿. So yeah, all good. Y'all have a good one, and I shall see you next time. Peace. I think fucking Zarevich would unironically like this edit.
'Cause you are the piece of me I wish I didn't need, chasing relentlessly, still fighting, I don't know why. If our love is tragedy, why are you my remedy? If our love insanity, why are you my parody? Caught in a lip lock when we pissed up, cosmic kiss tastes like cherry maraschino ride, passenger seat, tropical heat, ice so red you could be my Valentino, yeah.
Alright, it's been a fair amount of days since I released my Uncharted 1 review, and this review coming out, it's probably going to be a 9/11 episode, or at least going to be released on 9/11. What has happened these past few days? I guess, what's it called? MechTech started their own college. I wanted to go to that college, but I instead went for UTI, though I don't even know if I want to pay that tuition, so, not Uncharted, fuck. Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake finally released. Pretty cool, though I heard there's some mixed receptions, like at least for the fact that there's a remake and the original game's still fine. Probably just release that. I don't know, do a port. I don't fucking know. Also, Hollow Knight Silk Song has been released. That one's doing pretty well. Like $20. Journos have been melting down over that. Very funny. There's a lot of negatives. Like the murder of that Ukrainian woman in, where's that, Chicago, DC, wherever the fuck it is in the US. Imagine being a refugee and then fucking dying here to a unhinged black man that fucking said, I got the white girl or whatever. Whatever. In Sierra Leone, a pastor got fucking murked while being robbed, I believe. He's about to be assigned to a new parish mission, but that won't happen since he's dead. The Congo's getting fucked over with Ebola cases, and one town getting like 50, 60 people dead in a ISIL related attack. The passing of Haru Urawa just like 2 days ago on the 9th. I think also Qatar got bombed too by Israel, or at least on the border. And then today, the 10th, goddamn, Charlie Kirk getting assassinated, and fucking other school children in Colorado, Evergreen or Everbridge High School, some high school in Colorado getting shot up. The last I heard, 2 people are in the hospital. I don't know if they actually neutralized the person, the shooter. I'm guessing they did. Who fucking knows? And then Charlie, I never really liked the guy, but god damn it, you don't have to fucking kill the guy. And no, he did not fucking say the Second Amendment rights thing. I'm pretty sure it's just even with that bullshit, you have to uphold the Second Amendment rights, because even if you make fucking guns illegal, the criminals will just fucking use them anyways. It's not like they got it illegally in the first place, most of them. This world. This goddamn world. But anyways, Uncharted 3, don't know when I'll release that. Maybe early October, late September, who knows. But I want to make that Club World Cup video, because I want to have some positivity again in my life. Y'all have a good one. Hopefully I get a good day in 9/11. I can't wait to hear the radio ads, because sometimes those ones can be patriotic and funny. Anyways, bless your hearts. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.